It's uncompromising, addictive and often unforgiving, with an adrenaline rush like no other. There is no practice, no second chances. It's the ultimate motorsport competition on gravel. It is rally, and this is the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. Welcome to the International Rally of Queensland, coming to you from the beautiful Sunshine Coast. In today's show, we feature the four-wheel drives. Can Michael Bailey stake a claim for the lead in the East Coast Bull Bars four-wheel drive National Series? Will Team Datsun and a second Toyota Celica be able to put a dent in Neil Bates's domination of the classics? And let's not forget the ARMORALL Power Stage. 5 crucial bonus championship points up for grabs for the fastest outright two-wheel drive cars. Scott Pedder had the upper hand in the ARMORALL Power Stage at round 2, making it one apiece after Brendon Reeves took the win at the National Capital Rally. The 5 points on offer today are vital to Pedder's championship chances as he trails Reeves by 32 coming into this round. This year, the ARMORALL Power Stage returns to the traditional rally surface to decide just who will take home those extra points. Championship registered competitors get just one qualifying run over the stage, so there are no second chances.
We're on that strip of land between the Sunshine Coast and the hinterland for the running of the third ARMORALL Power Stage of the year. Now, last year they ran it around the Nambour Showgrounds. This year they've decided to bring it back into the forest in amongst the tall pines. I believe with straights like this, it will be the fastest power stage we have ever run. And the competition at the front of the field is going to be fierce. Brendon Reeves in the Mazda, Scott Pedder in the Renault. Then we have the 2 Citroens, and back in the fray is the former Australian Rally champion, Warhope's own Michael Bowden in the VW with a revamped engine. It is going to be exciting, and what a great mix of cars and crew.
Like the rally itself, the power stage is sure to be fast. Let's take a look at the layout. Starting on a hard-packed surface, it's an 80-metre sprint to a 90-degree left turn and a straight of more than 1 kilometre. Here in the high-tech oil speed trap, they're likely to exceed 175 kilometres an hour. Split 1, Can-Am Corner, is hard back on itself, diving deep into the forest. The trees close through a kink to a second split, Polaris Pinch, marking the start of Sector 3. Half a K later, cars emerge from the forest, left onto the straight, the finish line coming up after a total of 2.8 kilometres. Ross Duncan's been out for a sneak preview and he's about to give us the inside running.
Whoa! An excited 5-time Australian champion Ross Duncan, our expert commentator on the ARMORALL Power Stage, and wiping the brow a little bit there.
Dino, I had a smidgen of a problem, and of course, it's not my car.
Not that you'd be bothered by that. You made a career of driving other people's cars.
I have been very lucky to be able to do that. I tell you what, this is a great stage. Very fast, especially this particular straight, well over 1 kilometre. These guys will be full noise down there, flat out. But right at the end, it's slippery, a left-hand hairpin. Once they get through that, they get onto a road that's sort of mounted on the top. There's a drop of about probably 1 metre on either side, so they've got to keep on that. And as they sweep around, they come up to a corner which you can't read. It becomes very slippery. As you get round there, if you can get round, then you go into the very narrow pine plantation, and there are a lot of tree roots across the corners, so that actually if you hit a tree root, of course you get in the air, you won't be able to turn, so they've got to be very careful there. Once they get through that, they get into an open area, turn left, a big flat blast down over a hill to the finishing line.
All that in a couple of kilometres.
Exactly.
And we talked about the overnight rain. Queensland renowned for this clay surface. And that's what you're talking about. It's trying to pick the differences in this final run.
Very, very hard to read. Very hard to read the changes.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting, Rusty. And of course, they've got qualifying to get through their one pass through that. And we cross back to you for the highlights.
Thank you, guys. Well, the big news is Brendon Reeves. As the leading ARC entry, it was his privilege to be first car on the road. But that brought no advantage. The Can-Am split showed the road was wetter than recce yesterday, but it was the second split at Polaris Pinch that really caught them out.
Right narrows. 120. Oh, oh,
Fucking recce.
A disastrous start for the championship leaders.
We come down quite fast, turned in, then we just hit the slop, you can see, and we just went straight into the trees. I couldn't really try and avoid it and go that way. We were going too fast. It was just like ice out there. So yeah, we should have been able to recce the stage this morning, because yesterday when we did it, it was so good. And the hairpin at the end of the straight when you're at top speed was the same. So yeah, it's not good out there. The conditions are tricky.
You're leading the championship. Any idea at this stage what it's going to mean for you this weekend?
Not until we have a good look. Like, hopefully we can get the car going by tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens. It just depends on the extent of the damage. We hit pretty hard there, so it depends what it's done to the engine.
Brendon Reeves and Rhiannon Gelsomino failed to complete their first stage for 2014 and lose any chance of those 5 bonus points. With the crippled Rally School Mazda 2 in need of urgent repairs, the remainder of the field was escorted through on a sighting lap to avoid further mishaps. The rest of qualifying is coming up right after the break. Welcome back to the International Rally of Queensland. The big news is Brendon Reeves and Rhiannon Gelsomino have crashed out of the ARMORALL Power Stage and left the door wide open for their opposition. Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott wasted little time setting the pace. Clearly the quickest. Their qualifying time would never be beaten. Adrian Coppin, on the other hand, erred on the safe side. He and Tim Batten had no intention of joining Reeves for an early service and were driving with caution. Returning with a repowered VW, Michael Bowden and Helen Cheers were also reserved in qualifying, perhaps like Coppin ensuring their car would be ready for rally competition in the morning. Mick Patton and Bernie Webb were the third fastest qualifiers in the Repco Polo, 4 seconds in front of the Warhope Warrior. Pedder wasn't the only one with good legs this weekend. Tony Sullins and Julia Barclay's Citroen DS3 matched the top speed of the Renault, but couldn't break the 2-minute barrier. That accolade was all Scott Pedder's, an impressive 1 minute 54.59. So Adrian Coppin, Michael Bowden, Mick Patton, Tony Sullins and Scott Pedder line up for the bonus championship points on offer in the ARMORALL Power Stage, coming to you from the International Rally of Queensland. Our slowest qualifier is on the start line with Dean Herridge.
Our first run at Rally Queensland is our Citroen Australia team. Adrian Coppin, Tim Batten just scraped in with the time, but I have a feeling you might have been foxing to try and be the first ones out today. Am I correct or not?
Yeah, Dino, that was the, we sort of, lucky for this one, we got to do a recce pass. We saw it was really sloppy and knew it was going to get worse, so bit of a chat, and the wise bugger over here sort of said, let's just make sure we're trying to be sort of one of the first 2 cars out. So it's worked, and we'll see how we go. But again, Dino, I've said it before, it's especially this event's an enduro rally, so no point, whilst there are some points, the bigger picture is the big points at the end of Sunday afternoon.
And this is a difficult stage. These conditions are treacherous. You only have to be a little bit offline, you can find yourself in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you've only got to look at Brendon, and he's got plenty of experience, and it was a very tricky corner that caught him out. And so if he can do it, then what hope have I got?
Well, good luck to you guys. There you go, playing the game strategy. They want to be the first one on this pass, trying to maximise the best conditions.
Yeah, good point, Dino. The mindset is an interesting one. Will he take that enduro rally approach? Those points from the ARMORALL Power Stage, awfully tempting. They're away.
Left 3.
Well, I see it's a good service here, but when they turn left,
The surface changes.
Then slippery puddle.
The overnight rain, the impact from it. And Batten already, so Batten reminding Adrian about that, about the surface.
And you can see the colour of the surface changes, and that's what they've got to look for, because that's most important.
And 500, danger turn left for 1, very slippery.
High-tech oil speed trap 157. Hey, Rusty, I thought probably 180 would be the mark.
Now remember, these guys in qualifying well down on the kind of pace we saw from Pedder and Moscott, and understeering a little bit coming into the Can-Am split.
Rusty can hardly stand up on that stuff. It's just amazing how the technology advanced on these rally tyres. They are fantastic.
Left 6 here, 100. Right 6.
That is sandy. That's a sand coming off that front wheel, coming down now to that tricky corner that caught Brendon Reeves out. And have a look at the surface colour change. That was the Polaris corner that Brendon Reeves clipped the tree on.
50 right 6.
That was more than a pinch, wasn't it, for Brendon Reeves? So Tim Batten, Adrian Coppin, this is, I think you'd have to say, on the conservative side, they're thinking long here, the long game at the International Rally of Queensland. How close are those trees?
You wouldn't want to make a mistake.
Cut turn left 3, then go to 50.
The back straight now, big long run, up over the hill to the finishing line.
Lovely done there by Adrian Coppin, nicely attacked and cut the corner. Now you can let the beautiful Citroen go on this long straight, and we'll see what happens at the finish line. Remember, they will lay down the time that everyone will need to chase. It's a 2:05.01 from Adrian Coppin and Tim Batten.
Looked like he was not going full noise through there.
We knew the road was going to get chopped up, more cars, and it's getting really bad out there. Like, we sort of overcooked the hairpin a little bit, even just on the braking. And that tricky corner that Brendo went off, like, we were passengers for half of it. So, no, look, pretty good. I don't know what the guy's going to do, but those tricky corners are getting tricky.
It's a smart play as we take a look at the replay. Tough to get through there.
He got through there quite well. Tail out a bit, but he got onto the gas to pull that front-wheel drive car through that particular corner.
That's the benchmark at 2:05.01. Archie's exuberance might be short-lived, though. There's 4 more qualifiers to come after the break. You're watching the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship from Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast. 4 cars still to go in the ARMORALL Power Stage. Adrian Coppin has laid down the time at 2:05.01. Dean Herridge on the start line with the team that missed last round.
It's fantastic to have this team back. Michael Bowden, Helen Cheers, our 4-wheel drive champs from a couple of years ago, back in the Power Stage and in the final, mate. Well done.
Well, look, it's just a pleasure to be here, and hopefully we've got the right combination for the weekend.
And the run through there is slippery. It's a tough conditions to debut this car back out.
Yeah, that was the real first competitive drive I've actually had on the dirt. So yeah, just touchy-feely, and let's just get it to the end today, and then the race starts tomorrow.
I know what you're going to say, mate. It's metre by metre, K by K, isn't it?
It is, buddy. Yeah.
Good luck on this one, mate.
Thank you.
Metre by metre, K by K, but this is a guy who loves 10 tenths. Here we go.
Revamped engine, of course, so he's hoping for big things in this event. Nice and tight through there.
800, fast pump, 800.
Golf sounds magic in full flight, doesn't it?
They certainly do. Great team, the Bowdens. They're really enthusiasts from Warhope, of course.
So the High-Tech Oils radar will tell, and it's a significant increase. So that's not a criticism of Adrian Coppin either, we should say. He made a choice, he's taken a certain approach, but this is really upping the tempo here. Michael Bowden and Helen Cheers.
quicker, 47. Now this is the road that I said was built up. As they come round, you'll see there's a drop on either side, so they've got to make sure they stay on the top of the road. Nice line through there, coming up to the tricky corner. Heavy on the brakes, sets it up.
Ginger through the Polaris hinge on approach there, but the gap, the split shows that he's up, but it's dropped fractionally on what it was at the first split. This stuff is hair-raising. It's so close to trees.
Oh, I tell you what, carrying some speed through there, looks good.
On the gas, nice and early, and he can stretch the legs on the Golf on the run to the finish line. This should be good, and we may have a new fastest time. Let's see. Does it?
Oh, yep.
2:04. It's a gain of a second, just under a second for Michael Bowden and Helen Cheers. Well done. They move to the top of the order.
It's feeling better every time I drive it, so touch wood, we've got the right combination for this weekend and go from there.
Into the box seat by 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you hold that, do you think?
Nah, the boys behind are trying too hard. Too many sheep stations for them. We're here to finish this weekend.
As we take a look at the Kumo tyre replay, he's carried a lot more speed into the braking point of this one, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and a better line by far. And this one is a good corner here. Nice and tight, didn't get out there in the sloppy stuff.
And it pays big dividends. So the Warhope Warrior knocks out Team Citroen. Dean Herridge is with our next competitor.
Repco Rally Team car on the line with Mick Patton and Bernie Webb. Third quickest in qualifying, guys. Great job.
Yeah, it was a good run through there first time. It was nice and steady and clean in all the mush, but yeah, just tick a few boxes and wait for the good stuff tomorrow.
And the good news about the badge on this car, your fellow teammate Volkswagen driver Michael Bowden's quickest so far. He beat Coppin in there, a 2:04.4.
Excellent, yeah, it's good. It's good to see both Bodes and I back at an event together again. So yeah, we'll have a bit of fun and off we go.
Fingers crossed, mate. Go for it.
Thanks, mate.
He'll hope to be on fire, guys, but nothing like Quid Forest Rally.
Yes, very good, Dean. Not in the literal sense. Well done to this team, the Repco crew. They've worked very hard to get this car rebuilt to the start line. He's away.
Bernie Webb, of course, very experienced co-driver, sitting alongside, calling the shots.
And he's good, Ross, not just with the calls. It's that very calming influence. For a younger guy, he's very good in that regard, isn't he?
He certainly is. Mick Patton looking quite content there as he pulls into fifth gear.
Looks quick through the trees here.
Here's the hump, 500. Turn 2 left.
High-tech oil, speed trap.
154, wow. Looked quicker than that from some of the shots, and I wondered if the puddles on approach were starting to clear a little bit as more cars come through. Look at it on the entry here. And look at the split there. He's down at Can-Am corner, wider than the ideal line, fighting for traction. That was costly.
7, 100 in 6 left. Here's 6 left.
Through the sand, you just see the sand, and that's dry sand. Dry sand into wet mud coming up very shortly.
Unbelievably challenging stuff for the drivers here. Now to the Polaris pinch. Has he been able to recover some time in that second sector? He has. Well done.
That was a good run through there. Now, this is where the tree route is, coming up to the Pedders. You see the car lurch a bit there. That's where they've got to be very, very careful to get through and make sure the wheels are on the ground as they turn.
Well, I think our cameraman's hoping for the magic shot park there too.
Turn 3 left, wide.
On the gas, nice and early too. Mid-corner and opens the engine, lets it loose in the VW. Is he able to knock off the sister car, if you will, of Michael Bowden and Helen Cheers, who currently sit top of the order. Lots of speed as they head to that Coates Hire finish.
He has. How about that?
And that's despite that slow first sector. Well done.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun, that one. Yeah, nice and fun. So far, so good. Got a lot of rallying to go in the next couple of days, though, mate. It's good. Very nice to get back in the saddle, so to speak.
And take a look at the start, and this isn't good news for Pat, and the Kumo replay showing a jump start. That's significant news, and it will mean a penalty, Ross.
Yeah, 10 seconds, that'll cost him, so he's way off the pace now.
Wow, so some drama here.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Boo. Very good. Oh, well, all good.
That also means Michael Bowden lives to fight another day. His future in the hands of Tony Sullins, who's up next in the ARMORALL Power Stage. Nice to have you with us for the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. We're in the forest here, just a short drive inland from Queensland's beautiful Sunshine Coast. Dean Herridge is with our penultimate competitor for the ARMORALL Power Stage. There's been some drama here, but the next competitor is all set to go.
Citroen Team Australia, Tony Sullins, second fastest in the qualifying, mate. Great run for you.
Yeah, I think I might have let my showed my cards a bit too early. There's not a lot left in it, I don't think.
But you did a 2:01 in the qualifying.
There might be a couple of seconds. I'll be happy if we could crack 2 minutes.
Well, you're in the mix, mate, which is the main thing.
Very good, thank you.
Good luck, guys.
And they'll be acutely aware of the performance of some of their rivals who've gone before them. So Sullins is a fierce competitor. He really does attack. Can he break that 2-minute mark, as Dean suggested?
Well, he's certainly turned the wick up, because to set qualifying times like that, he's certainly done some work on this motor car. And of course, Sullins is a very, very good circuit racer. So he's got a lot of experience.
To crest straight at side.
The high-tech speed trap. Let's see what speed. 180! That's more like it. Now he's on the pace.
Quickest we've seen so far in this power stage. Look at the entry line too, as he tries to arrest all that speed on the damp conditions into the left-hander. He's up massively up at the Can-Am split.
What a great run. Of course, he's carrying that speed, so he had less time to actually try and get through that corner. Did a fantastic job.
Minus 50.
Sweeping through the left-hander. Slight right-hander, now coming up to the tight right-hander.
Turn late, right 3.5 narrows, very slippy. 100.
Oh, yes, very nicely done.
He is absolutely blitzing this ARMORALL Power Stage. 6 seconds up.
Short right 5.5, 80. Short right 5.5, 200.
These trees look even closer at this speed.
To turn cut, left 3 opens, 250.
Mega stuff from Tony Sullins and Julia Barkley. Lovely line. Look how much they cut that final corner and then get on the gas in the Citroen.
This will be a very, very quick time with 180 odd kilometres down the straight.
Well, the mission, Ross, was to go sub 2 minutes and maybe give Scott Pedder a real shake here.
He's going to do it. 157.
Blitzed it. Absolutely sensational time.
You'll be happy with that one.
Well, question mark here. We're being told by officials maybe a jump start.
Hey?
He might have jumped the start.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
I looked at the things when I let the clutch out.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, no, definitely not. I didn't go let the clutch out until the thing went 0.
Sullins pretty fired up here. Let's take a look at the Kumo replay. What do you make of that, Dunko?
Well, mate, very close, very hard to see. I think we need a photo.
Fast entry on this one here. Gee, carried some speed through the high-tech oil split. No wonder the car body language looks like that at this point.
He came down there at 180 kilometres an hour, so he had shorter time to stop, get round the corner, did a great job.
Tough call. 10-second penalty. Clearly, Sullen's taking it up to our fastest qualifier who's still to run.
No, I didn't let the clutch out didn't dump it all until it was ready to go. So, because I normally don't see the clock, I normally rely on Julia, but I'll vouch for this one because I watch the numbers.
But the numbers clearly show a 1/10 of a second jump advantage, Bowden.
Really? We'll take that.
Well, here's the team, guys, has it all to play for. Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott, they'd be after maximum points. Scotty's been a bit of chaos. The last two cars have jump-started. It's all here for you to win.
Yeah, a few of the boys are a bit keen and eager to get out there, and which is good. Obviously, our cause gets helped by Brendo's unfortunate incident this morning, so, you know, it's just a matter of trying to do what I did in the first run, and we'll go from there.
It is hard though, isn't it? Because like you said, you know you've got it in you, you just got to get through this tricky stage. It's hard as a rally driver to sort of be in not full attack mode sometimes, particularly for Scott Pedder.
Yeah, and look, these cars are built to drive flat out. You know, everything's tuned to be driving in a certain way, so, you know, you've got to be quite aggressive with them, and, you know, with junction corners like this, you've still got to be on the money because then you've got to understeer and all those sort of things that you don't want. So, yeah, it's just a matter of trying to be smooth and trying to get those junctions right and hopefully have a win.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Have a look at this, guys. This is how serious they were to win this stage. They removed the top wing they normally run in the normal East Coast Bullbase Championship for this big long straight. So they were going for top speed.
Good spotting, Dino. He's got the eyes on Pedder.
4, 3, 2.
Moscott has WRC experience, so he will be a very calming influence.
400.
Talking to Scotty, he said Walking Tour's done a lot of work on this car.
That partnership is really, I think, starting to bear fruit now, isn't it? Look at the eyes, I love it. Pedder on the attack.
He is honking down there.
Now what we're going to do too, we're going to compare, because there's so much conjecture about this jump start with Tony Sullins, we will compare the times relative to Sullins. So let's take a look at the high-tech oil split here. 181!
You can throw a blanket over him, eh? 1 kilometre an hour difference.
To the split, Can-Am corner. He's up, but just 0.04 of a second. That's how close it is relative to Sullins.
9 left. Don't cut.
He's looking good. He's carrying a lot of speed through here. Through this very fast left-hander. Switches back to the right-hander.
And he senses an opportunity here to grab points, doesn't he? Remember, our points or championship leaders are out. This is great, a good haul potentially for this pairing.
He kept in tight there, kept onto the area that had been swept, so very fast through there. Up through his own jump. Looking good. Oh!
Turn.
It was a good gain at the second split. At the Polaris pinch, we're about to emerge from the trees here, and he will let the Renault loose.
He is on race pace at the moment as he comes out. Very fast through there. Let's see what he does as he goes down the back straight. This is going to be a fast time.
200.
Well, he's built at every split relative to Sullins. What will the final time be? This is brilliant stuff from this pairing. Coach finished
54.01. What a champion.
Good job.
3 seconds the margin in the end relative to Sullins' effort. And they take a commanding win in the ARMORALL Power Stage, crucial for the title race.
54, which is the same as the first run, which was good. It was actually, the course was a bit slower that time around because of the sand, but you know, it's just a matter of getting those two corners, those two important corners right. We seemed to do that and got out of them pretty good, and it's a good result.
So we go to the Kumo replay for the final time.
All too nice and tight. And of course, the next corner, they're actually getting in tighter to get onto the harder, compact dirt. See, as he comes around, he's not getting in the sloppy stuff too much. Nice line through there.
So that's 2 ARMORALL Power Stage wins in a row for Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott. The winner's check presented on behalf of ARMORALL by the General Manager of East Coast Bull Bars, Paul Teresi.
Quite a difficult stage in the end. Was quite a simple, straightforward stage, but obviously had the rain. As I said at the start, Brendon was very unfortunate. The corner he's crashed on was, I think we all would have crashed on, to be honest. So yeah, it's good to get the points.
It sounds funny to say it, but Scott can drive smooth. And we said before the qualifying run, ironically, you know, very important. Don't jump the start, nice and smooth, keep it calm, and all those things paid off today. So yeah, very, very happy.
It's fantastic. Obviously a big event ahead of us, and you know, the car feels really strong. You know, the Walkinshaw guys have done a fantastic job over the last 10 weeks, and I can't wait to drive that little thing through Imbil.
Next up, the East Coast Bull Bars 4-wheel drive National Series. Michael Bailey has stepped up in the horsepower stakes with an unrestricted engine in the Mitsubishi Evo 6. Will it be enough? And later, Neil Bates has introduced some competition of his own in the classics. Welcome back to the East Coast Bull Bars 4-wheel drive National Series, coming to you from the International Rally of Queensland. The concept of a National Series for 4-wheel drives is designed to allow the teams to pick and choose the events they enter. The best 3 from any of the 6 rounds this year will provide a winner. Currently the leader is Dylan King after winning both heats in round 2. With a win and a second at the opening event, Michael Bailey is in second. Both King and Doug Tostovan didn't cross the nullarbor to contest round 3, and late withdrawal from Andrew Penny increased Gerald Schofield's chances of scoring well from this round. Michael Bailey, though, was in the box seat to snatch the lead coming into round 3. Although rally rookie Jay Davison collected points in Canberra and is currently just outside the top 5, his home rally didn't start the way he wanted.
Breaking into, A left 9 on grid. He's A left 9, here's the grid.
Somehow, though, he and Tim Bryant won the opening stage, and there was no hiding the joy.
Woo! That's rough and bossy there. Flicking the fans on, mate, we're sitting on 180.
We've had a very, very, very unusual preparation. All the wires were out of the car 2 nights ago. Everything's stripped, brand new computer in, brand new tune. For this car to be here and not fall apart, unbelievable effort by the team.
Local favourite Peter Roberts in the Hastings Concrete Tanks Evo 6 wide over the top of Gibber. He and Jim Gleeson lucky to escape and make the finish.
It's not okay. Left 5.
Michael Bailey was second through SS1 and second equal with Davison through Derriere North. But Roberts had their measure and took the lead back by 3 seconds. The stage wins seesawed throughout the day, with Davison on top by the end of leg 1 after Roberts ran out of brakes and was forced to drive with caution to avoid becoming a rally casualty. And that, in fact, is just what happened to Gerald Schofield. Any hope of a points haul this weekend were dashed when the Fibertech Medical Mitsubishi lost drive through Special Stage 8. Schofield and co-driver Ray Baker were forced to sit out the weekend. The diagnosis was identified deep inside the transmission. There was more than one doctor in the house this weekend. Jack Monkhouse's dad, Bill, combined with fellow physician Alan Booker, tried their hand in the SUV category, driving a Suzuki Vitara.
The older I get, the faster I was. Okay. But old people can learn, because we went a minute faster in that one. It's a good thing to be Jack's dad, but it's a bad reputation to try and beat him. And that's never going to happen. My best 10% is his worst, but it was still pretty good fun.
Leg 2 and Michael Bailey paid the ultimate price for an unrestricted engine.
10 right over brow.
The BP Ultimate Evo 6 expiring in a huge way through the opening New Million stage. He and John Allen cleared the track of bits of engine that exited through the block and waited for a tow. Jay Davison won the stage and extended his lead to 28 seconds, much to Peter Roberts' surprise.
It's a rough stage, so we sort of were a little bit easy, but I wouldn't have thought he would have got us by 9.9. So it's go fast from here on in, I think.
And go fast he did, taking 5 seconds off Davison over the next 2 stages, and then the break he was looking for. 4th gear disappeared from the gearbox in Jay Davison's on-the-spot filter cleaner Evo through the longest stage of the event, Speedy Contractors. The 2 doctors disappeared from the radar through the same stage too. Bill Monkhouse over-enthusiastic on a left-hander and tipping the Vitara on its side. Word spread quickly back to rally control that the 2 doctors were fine, had cleared each other out of any medical issues, and were working out whether they could bulk bill their respective consultations. The repeat run over the same 36 kilometres only made things worse for Jay Davison, who was still without 4th gear. Peter Roberts claimed victory in stage by a massive 35 seconds, and with it, the weekend win. Not everything was lost for Davison though, whose decision to compete at the first round in the nation's capital sees himself and Tim Bryant on top in the East Coast Bull Bars 4-wheel drive National Series. No doubt a new engine will restore Michael Bailey's position, and Peter Roberts will be looking at his own chances with 3 more rounds to go on the East Coast. Coming up next, a dozen classics line up to try their luck against the undisputed king, Neil Bates. Welcome back. This is the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship, coming to you from the International Rally of Queensland on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. Ryan Smart took the opportunity to race his old mate Jack Monkhouse. Both former outright championship drivers competed in Datsun 180Bs.
It's mainly for Jack and I to come out and have a go and in equal machinery and have a bit of fun, and if we're there at the end and you know, have straight cars and there's a few seconds between us, I'm more than happy.
Jack Monkhouse had brought out his old faithful with new co-driver Tom Ryan, and even with a fast time, had to settle for second behind the Bates Celica. Team Datsun, as they called themselves, couldn't match the outright speed of Neil Bates, but if front counted for anything, they were on a winning streak. Bates had reinforcements this round in the form of Clay Badenoch, who for the first time was driving a Bates Motorsport-built Celica, 3rd in stage. Queenslanders Hugh Scott and Mike Anderson never made the end of this stage.
7 right, 8 left, danger, brow into 4 right, wide entry, oh shit.
That was too late.
Yeah.
Right. It's really hard to get out from here.
3 left.
Kandanga saw the first of the Team Toyota, Team Datsun fight fizzle.
Then turn 3 left on narrow track.
There's your wife.
It wasn't the distraction of his co-driver John McCarthy's wife that slowed Ryan Smart.
Very long.
Oh, brake line gone.
Really?
Yep.
Then caution 3 left.
It was a fight starting to look decidedly one-sided until Bates suffered a rare mechanical failure through New Million.
It's a long left, 4.5, don't cut. What's happened?
No idea. Lost power.
It took 4 minutes to jury-rig the crank angle sensor back in place and restart, but Monkhouse had wasted no time taking command of the rally.
Yeah, I was on a really steep hill, so I had to get Coral to chock it and then had to get cable ties out and cable tie all back on, and we lost almost 4 minutes, so we're back on the list.
With something to chase, Bates consistently clawed back the lead at a rate of more than 2 seconds a kilometre. By the end of leg, he'd closed the gap on Monkhouse to just 10 seconds. Hugh Scott had meantime rejoined the repeat of Gibber. Very next stage though, Derriere North, the Datsun was off its wheels again, ending his day early.
10 right over brow, 10 right, 50, 9 right over long crest. Sorry, 9 right crest. Oh,
Without cheap stations or even trophies at stake, 2 invitational teams showed they could make it into the fastest 5 in classics despite the odd setback.
One of the shafts has just moved and it's sort of selected 2 gears and just jammed solid. So we've got a stock box in now and we'll see how we go.
And some quintessential words from the VIP Pet Foods boss.
Well, we're steaming on like an old barge, just getting to the end. And here comes Mulligan.
Mulligan's escort forced him into early retirement on leg 1, but that didn't faze Big Ed.
Just broke some drive shaft bolts, so we got no drive, and it was 200 metres to the great place up here where we stopped, and we had prawns and cabanossi cheese and chicken for lunch. So it was pretty good. We might retire again today. It's excellent. Just got to pick the right spot.
And that's just what he did, parking up before the spectator point in the final stage, speedy contractors with no oil pressure. At the pointy end, Neil Bates and Coral Taylor just reeled in the Ks and their competition to win the rally convincingly. Two Salikas made the top 3, Bates and Clay Badenoch, split by the 180B of Jack Monkhouse and Tom Ryan. That wraps up the first part of our coverage from the International Rally of Queensland. Stay tuned for all the action from the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. Our program coming up same time next week. Check your local guides for details. On behalf of Ross Duncan and the team, it's bye for now.
Oh my God, that's what I missed!
Left on narrow track.
There's your wife.
Today's coverage is made possible by Kumho Tyre, Pedder Suspension, ARMORALL, Co-Tyre, Can-Am, Polaris, High-Tech Oils, and our supporting partner East Coast Bull Bars, world's best alloy bull bars.